In a tranquil village nestled near the temple of the revered Zen master Bankei, a blind man lived his days in quiet contemplation. His blindness had taken away the gift of sight, leaving him with a heightened awareness of the world's sounds. To him, the voice of a person was a window into their soul, revealing their true character. One day, after Bankei had peacefully passed away, the blind man found himself in a conversation with a close friend. They were sitting under the shade of an ancient cherry blossom tree, its blossoms gently falling like soft rain. The blind man confided in his friend, "You know, my dear friend, since I am blind, I cannot watch a person's face, so I must judge his character by the sound of his voice. It is through their words and tone that I discern the true nature of those around me." His friend listened intently, curious about what had prompted this conversation. Continuing, the blind man said, "In the ordinary course of life, when I hear someone offering congratulations to another person upon their happiness or success, I often detect a secret undertone of envy. It's as though the well-wisher conceals their true feelings, harboring jealousy and resentment. Similarly, when someone extends condolences for another's misfortune, I can often sense a subtle undercurrent of pleasure and satisfaction, as if the person offering condolences is secretly glad that there remains something to gain in their own world." His friend nodded, understanding the profound observations of the blind man. The blind man continued, "However, in all my years of experience, there was one voice that consistently stood out from the rest: Bankei's voice. Whenever Bankei expressed happiness, I heard nothing but pure, unadulterated happiness in his voice. And when he expressed sorrow, it was sorrow and compassion that resonated deeply in his words. Bankei's voice was a rare treasure, always sincere, and I found solace in it." The friend contemplated the blind man's words and felt a deep curiosity about Bankei, who had left a lasting impression even on someone who could not see his face but had recognized the authenticity in his voice. Years later, the blind man's friend shared the story of Bankei's voice with a group of fellow monks who had studied under the Zen master. The story of Bankei's sincerity, as perceived through the ears of the blind man, spread like ripples on a tranquil pond. The monks, touched by the tale, felt compelled to explore the legacy of Bankei further. They gathered in the temple, where Bankei had once walked the halls, his presence still lingering in the soft echoes of his teachings. They sat in meditation, their hearts open to the wisdom that transcended words. As they meditated, they began to understand that sincerity was not a mere vocal expression, but a state of being. It was about aligning one's inner truth with their outer actions, a harmony that Bankei had embodied in every aspect of his life. The monks dedicated themselves to the study of Bankei's teachings, seeking to understand the essence of his sincerity. They realized that Bankei's profound authenticity was born from his deep realization of the impermanence of all things. He had embraced the ebb and flow of life with equanimity, experiencing joy and sorrow as facets of the same precious jewel. Through their diligent practice and introspection, the monks came to appreciate the profound wisdom of Bankei's voice and the sincerity it carried. They realized that it wasn't just about the words he spoke, but the presence behind those words, an unwavering connection to the heart of existence. As they deepened their understanding, the monks began to incorporate Bankei's teachings into their daily lives. They sought to live in a way that exemplified the sincerity and compassion that had so profoundly touched the blind man. Their actions spoke louder than words, and their genuine presence became a source of inspiration for all who encountered them. The legacy of Bankei lived on in the hearts and actions of those who had been touched by his teachings. His voice, though silent in the physical realm, continued to resonate through the sincerity and authenticity of those who had learned from him. In the end, the blind man's keen insight had illuminated a profound truth, one that transcended the limitations of sight and touched the very essence of what it means to be sincere. Bankei's voice, heard through the ears of a blind man, had become a timeless reminder that authenticity and compassion are the true markers of a noble heart, and that the impact of a single sincere soul can ripple through generations, touching lives in ways beyond measure.